Good morning, this is lecture of physics. In this lecture, we have to discuss practical. The practical is consist of by use of multimeter, we have to know the value of some factors. Experiment name is by use of multimeter, we have to find out DC current, AC voltage, resistance and DC voltage. This experiment consists of two parts. In first part, we have to find out DC current and AC voltage. And in the second part, we have to find out the resistance and DC voltage. This is multimeter. So, what are the requirements for this experiment? First is multimeter. Second one is source of DC current. Third is source of AC current. And resistors, unknown resistor, which we have to find the value of the resistance. So you can see the multimeter here. This is DCA, direct current ampere. This is ACV, alternating voltage. This is DCV, direct current voltage, DC voltage. And this is for the resistance. From here we can find out the resistance. And here are the two knobs. Red shows always positive and black shows negative. We have to these plugs, these terminal to the source, from the source which we have to find out the DC current, AC current, resistor or the voltage. So these are the requirement, that is multimeter, source of DC current, source of AC current and resistors. Now what is the theory of this multimeter? Multimeter is very useful test instrument because it is used for the multi-purpose. That's why it is called multimeter, or sometimes it is known as multi-tester. So multimeter is very useful test instrument. There are two types of multimeters, analog multimeter and digital multimeter. Analog multimeter use the force within the circuit to move a pointer to a scale position. And digital meters sense the force within the circuit and convert it into an ordinary number. So what is the difference between these two multimeters? First is analog multimeter. Use the force within the circuit to move a pointer to a scale position, just like moving coil galvanometer. So the force which we used in the circuit is used to move the pointer. Similarly, the digital meters sense the force within the circuit and convert it into the ordinary number. So this is the basic difference between these two multimeters. Number one is the analog and number two is digital. This is digital multimeter which we are using here. So analog multimeter use the force to move the pointer on the screen, and digital multimeter use the force to convert the value into the ordinary number. By operating a multi-position switch is this is multi-position switch. If we move this in this block, we are able to know the DC current. If we move this switch in this block, we are able to know the alternating voltage as well as current. If we are moving this knob in this area, then we are able to find out the direct voltage. And if we move this in this region, then we are able to find out resistance. Similarly, we can calculate the continuity of the circuit using this multimeter. So what is a by operating a multi-position switch on the meter, they can be quickly and easily set to be a voltmeter, an ammeter or an ohm meter. In other words, this instrument is used to measure resistance, current, voltage in electric circuit. It is also used to test electronic components such as resistors, capacitors, inductors, diode, transistor, etc. Besides, we can check the conditions of these components whether good or not. So after operating the multi-position switch on the meter, they can be quickly and easily set to be a voltmeter and ammeter or an ohm meter. In other words, this instrument is used to measure resistance, current, voltage in electric circuit. It is also used to test electronic components such as resistors, capacitors, inductors, diode, transistor, etc. Besides, we can check the condition of these components whether good or not. So, multimeter having various components. The first is control unit. Control unit can be set followed by measurement unit. Control unit is this knob. Similarly, after setting this knob into the particular area, we are able only then find out the particular value, means the value of current, voltage, resistance, capacitor, etc. So what is the control unit? This is the control unit, the movable knob. Control unit can be set followed by a measurement unit as we need. For example, if we want to measure alternating voltage and current, we must set the control unit to AVC and so on. Means if we want to calculate alternating voltage and current, we have to set our knob in this area. Next unit is reading scale. Reading scale has several curves, lines with a certain unit such as DCV, direct current voltage, ACV, alternating current voltage, resistance, and so on. Electric quantity is measured in this meter by reading. So, electric quantity by multimeter we can find out by using these readings. Next is terminal meter, reading scale and the pointer. Here is a pointer. The pointer is moving on the reading scale. Is shown you the value of the electric quantity being measured. Here pointer and the reading scale is used in the analog multimeter. In our experiment, we have to use digital multimeter, and in digital meter, we have no need of pointer and the reading scale. Next is terminal meter. These are two terminal meter named positive and negative, like this. These are the two terminal meter. This is positive one and this is negative one. There are two terminal meters named positive and negative terminal. Both the terminal are joined to the test lead. These are the test leads, and these test leads are connected to the source, which we have to find out either good in conditions or in bad conditions. These are the two terminal meters named positive and negative terminal. Both the terminal are joined to the test leads, where as the red color are for the positive terminal and the black color for the negative. Now the next component is the pointer adjustment, only for the analog multimeter. It is used to set the scale of volt and current on 0, and adjustment is not required if the pointer is set to the 0. In analog multimeter, we have to set the pointer to the voltmeter and the current should be 0. If it is already 0 at 0, then we have no need to adjust it. Next is ohm 0 adjustment. This is again for the analog multimeter. Analog, the bottom of the meter panel marked as ohm 0. Like this is digital, not a analog. So in this multimeter is not 0. So analog, the bottom of the meter panel marked as ohm 0. This knob is used to set the full scale deflection of the pointer whenever the function is set to ohm, when we have to find out the resistance value. This is the component and this is the theory of the multimeter. Now what is the procedure? In our experiment, we have to find out DC current, AC voltage, resistance and DC voltage. Now first, how can we find out the DC current? First of all, these are the terminal meters, and these terminal meters are connected to the test leads. Further, these test leads are connected to the DC source. DC source may be a 9-volt battery. We can use 9-volt battery. The value of the DC current is vary in this region from 50 microampere, 2.5 milliampere, 25 milliampere, and 250 milliampere. So if we want to calculate the DC current, we have to connect our source to the test leads, and after that we have to move our knob in this region. And after adjusting the knob, the screen displays the value of the current of the source. This is very easy experiment. Next, we have to find out AC voltage. For the AC voltage, we have to connect our test leads to the AC source and move the knob to this area, AC voltage. And after set this knob in this area, we are again able to find out the AC voltage of the source. Similarly, the resistance, and for the resistance, we have to set our knob in this region. And here is a resistor. We need an unknown resistor which we have to find out the resistance. So after setting this knob in this region, we are again able to find out the resistance. Similarly, for the DC voltage, we have to set our knob in this region. And after setting the knob in this region, we are able to find out the DC voltage. This is the experiment for the multimeter. See, this is very easy. If we want to find out the DC current, we have to set our knob in this region. If we want to find out the AC voltage, then we have to set our knob in this region. If we want to find out the resistance, then we have to set our knob in this region. And for the DC voltage, we have to find out our knob in this region. Now, what is the region? What is the particular value of the typical range of the multimeters? For the DC voltage, the range of the DC voltage is, for the analog multimeter, is 0.5 volt to 2.5 volt, 10 volt, 50 volt, 250 volt, and 1000 volt. Next is AC voltage, and the range is 10 volt, 50 volt, 250 volt, and 1000 volt. Next is DC current, and the DC current is 50 microampere, 2.5 milliampere, 25 milliampere, and 250 milliampere. And AC current has no value, no any range. Resistance having 20 ohm, 200 ohm, 2 kilo ohm, 20 kilo ohm, and 200 kilo ohm. Now, we need to perform this experiment very carefully. And for that, we have to follow some precautions. And what are these precautions? Multimeters are easily changed by careless use. So please take these steps. Number 1, always disconnect the multimeter before adjusting the range switch. The first precaution is always disconnect the multimeter before adjusting the range switch. And the precaution number 2 is always check the setting of the range switch before you connect to the circuit. Number 3, never leave a multimeter set to a current range. Except when actually taking a reading. The greater risk is on the current range because the meter has low resistance. So first precaution is always disconnect the multimeter before adjusting the range switch. Number 2, always check the setting of the range switch before you connect to the circuit. Third, never leave a multimeter set to a current range. Except when actually taking a reading. The greatest risk is on the current range because the meter has low resistance. So these are some precautions for this experiment. And in this lecture we have discussed the multimeter, the theory of multimeter, procedure, how can we calculate the different values, and the precaution. So this is very easy experiment. I hope you will understand. Thank you.